Hi there. Once again, it's Vin Rogers Jr. That's how you get me. Be sure to do it. Mark it with your pencils. Don't forget it. Carry it in your hearts every day. Now, we're going to be talking again about these ministers and blowhards and windbags and so forth who they get into trouble, but they always seem to be able to come back. But today I put a slightly different spin on it. I want to tell you about the ones that turn out to be Republican Party operatives. We'll take them in order here. The most recent case, I think, fascinating one, is the case of George Allen Reckers. Now, Dr. Reckers note, a guy about 63 years old, got his PhD from UCLA in the field of psychology. He is a trained psychologist, a clinical psychologist. He's a fellow at Harvard University, but he's also a Baptist. He is a Southern Baptist, and this tells you volumes. We know where this clown is coming from. Now, he applies a living mostly as a expert witness. Wherever you have a large group of Republicans in the Congress, in the Senate, county Republican council, he is available to give speeches on how to cure homosexuality through constant prayer and science. Yes, indeed. Well, despite his claim of cures, he didn't do one hell of a good job on himself. Seems he got caught at the Miami airport. He was caught there with a boy prostitute, a young man, and whose services he'd obtained from Rent-A-Boy. Oh boy, Rent-A-Boy. The reporters caught him there, and they confronted him, and he made what amounted to a very clownish excuse for his conduct. In fact, it was so funny and curious, it struck me that it would have been the kind of thing that Lenny Bruce would have absolutely loved, and I can imagine how he would have treated something like this. I can see the reporters coming. He sees the Dr. Reckers and this young man, and he says to Dr. Reckers, who is that young man that is with you there? Who is that? And Reckers, well, that's Mighty Mo. He's the one that attends to our luggage. And little Mighty Mo turns around and looks at him. My name is not Mighty Mo, it's Lucien. And I'm not mighty, I'm 120 pounds wringing wet. Oh, he's just kidding. He's just kidding. Handle our luggage, handle our luggage. I'll take care of your own goddamn luggage. The reporter looks and he says, I understand that you got this young man from Rent-A-Boy as a male prostitute service, Rent-A-Boy? Oh, no. It was a Jewish service. It was Rent-A-Goy. And the young man just looks over at the reporter and says, he's full of BS. He's a clown. Not only that, he owes me $16.85 for the extra Vaseline and baby oil. That's probably how something like that would have been the way Lenny Bruce would have handled that matter. Well, you ask, just how powerful is this guy? He was the co-founder with Dr. Dobson of the Family Research Council, which is the parent organization which is over Focus on the Family, the most powerful Christian organization. They pretend to be secular. They're, of course, nothing of the kind. Christian thing. Every Republican president has had to kiss Dobson's ring, without exception. And here we have Dr. Reckers is the co-founder of that organization. That's telling you an awful lot. And moreover, if you go to their website, the Family Research Council or Dobson's Focus on the Family, you won't find a single reference to Dr. Reckers. They've birched his name. It's completely gone. How about another? This one is a Lulu. This guy died a couple of years ago. His name was Billy James Hargis. I'm not sure he was from Oklahoma or Texas, one of the toilets of America, but in any case, he is a Baptist minister, and he was an anti-communist, he was an anti-Semite, anti-gay, anti-abortion, and the litany of far-right causes. And he had a Bible college, That's useful. He sold tapes, books, and stuff. But the college was kind of his thing. And he would marry the students of that would come to his college. He'd marry the kids, and he would tell them, now before your wedding night, before you enjoy the benefits of clergy, what you must do is confess one to the other. Confess your sins. Be ready and be clean. Be born again. Well, now some of the students apparently took that very seriously, and what they did was they started confessing one to the other. And there was this young couple, and on the wedding night, they decided to do this, and the girl became terribly agitated. And she said to the husband, she said, I've got something terrible to tell you, dear. The Reverend Hargis read me the Bible this way and that way, upside down, forward, and around, and persuaded me to have sex with him. Well, the groom was absolutely shattered. But not for the reason you suspect. You see, he said to the wife, he said, dear, I've got a confession to make to you. I too went to a back room with Reverend Hargis. He read the Bible to me this way, that way, upside down, and I had sex with him. Well, about that point, this couple, they're ready for a psychiatrist. I mean, they're, what's for it at that point? They're also ready for a lawyer, and they sue the Reverend Hargis. At that point, 4 other men come out of the woodwork to say that they had been read the Bible back and forth, and that they had had sex with Billy James Hargis. A Republican operative? Not really, no. Well known in Republican circles, of course. But the co-founder of his ministry was a man by the name of Richard Vigor, who's very much alive, operates out of Washington, D.C. and Virginia. He is an expert in direct mail. You don't become president of the United States on the Republican ticket unless you've cleared it with this guy. He's the man to go to for the campaign purposes. Well, let's try, shall we say, one more here is, of course, the ever-loving Ted Haggard of Colorado with his enormous church of some 12,000 marginally intelligent people, I guess, who was discovered to be having a relationship with a male prostitute, and I guess no stranger to sexual enhancement. He used methamphetamines to get a high. It turned out that Ted Haggard had a direct line to the White House. He was the president of the National Evangelical Association, quite a group. And so he once a week was entitled to phone the White House, and he'd speak to Karl Rove, and occasionally even the President of the United States. That is a lot of power. He doesn't have that privilege anymore. He has been asked, he was essentially asked to leave town after this thing was discovered, which he did, only to return a little later. He is now starting another ministry, and he was on the Oprah Winfrey show and declared that he's cured of this homosexuality, but he said, I'm 100% heterosexual with gay issues. Oh, whatever the hell that's supposed to be. Anyway, there it is, and so we don't hear much about him anymore, and I suppose he'll rebuild his ministry. It's astonishing to me the number of these crackpots, some of them just utterly vicious people. They're just like barnacles on the Republican Party, and nothing can be done. To be a respected Republican and have this crowd around you seems to me a very sad thing. Well, it doesn't sadden me all that much. I mean, the more to the extent that they're on the Republican Party, it at least gives the Democrats some hope of a high moral position. And with that thought, I'm going to leave you until next time, when I'm going to be talking about the making of saints. Yes, the making of saints. Let's have you come at that time. VinRogersJr., remember, you see it overhead. Do it.